All right, we thank you for joining us here on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream. We are going to be forecasting live, something a little bit different than what I have done previously here on our 2 o'clock weather lives. I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso in the streaming center for us here. And we're going to be going through the forecast because we have a few things that we need to talk about. I'm going to be taking some notes myself here as we're kind of in the forecast process, preparing for our evening shows. So we do have some changes that have happened along our area. We've had the sun that has come out, and taking a look at the satellite picture, you can see it clearly. There's less clouds out there, something that we have noticed. And it's actually a really nice day out there right now. All the clouds have been clearing out nicely. The storm system that was to our south, you can see the spin down there in the Gulf of Mexico. You can see that's what remains of the low pressure system that we had here. You can see that spin of those low cumulus clouds. I also have another low pressure system somewhat developing off the coast of Florida. And of course, Florida getting all of the rain right now. This is kind of a look at the current situation, but we do have some changes ahead. Going over the next few days, we will see a drop in temperature come Sunday, a few degrees, on the 67 for a high, and that's thanks to a cold front that passes Saturday into Sunday, and we'll break that down a little later, but I do have a cold front that passes around this time frame, and that gives us the changes, a little bit cooler air before we ramp back up on Monday for another system that comes through on Tuesday. So we have a busy forecast over the next few days, and I want to look ahead towards your Thanksgiving week. Of course, we have a lot of stuff going on Thanksgiving week, and you're going to want to know what's happening. And it does look like we are going to have the potential for some rain in the first half of the week. Now we're going to use the European forecast model here. Zooming in, we have a storm system that's going to be coming our way. This is 4 o'clock on the European forecast model on Monday. Low pressure system developing to our north, kind of in northern Mississippi, northern Arkansas, or central Arkansas, with a cold front and then a warm front as well. Now, this warm front, as it passes, we get into what we call the warm sector. The warm sector of this system, that means warmer temperatures for us, especially as we get into late Monday and then Tuesday, a little bit more humid air, and that will provide the fuel for some thunderstorms. And this is a setup that we look for sometimes, especially in this season here. So this is 5 a.m. on Tuesday. You have rain, likely some thunderstorms as well, all through our area as a band moves through, and then our cold front pushes through in the end and does bring us cooler temperatures. So that is happening from Monday into Tuesday here, and that's going to be our next real weather maker that we're talking about. We do have a change here, or something new for us. We do have a possibility of some stronger storms on Monday into Tuesday. I'll go full screen for you here so you can see this. This is an outlook released by the Storm Prediction Center. And this outlook for the potential for some strong to severe storms, and that yellow color you see there is a 15%. That is kind of equivalent to what we would call the level 2 slight risk of severe weather. You might be familiar with that. Well, this is one, since it's so far out, this is all the way on Monday, so many days out, that we have to kind of preface it, and we can't give it that actual label. At least that's not their policy. So they give us this 15% area. That means 15% of chance of thunderstorms producing severe conditions. So we're going to be watching that very closely over the next few days. And I want to break some different things down. And we're going to kind of change this up, do something a little bit different here than what we have done previously on our live streams. So we're going to break down a little bit of the setup here. And I'm going to switch sources. You're actually going to be on the source of my normal computer here, so you're going to see my browser, and we're going to go through some of the tools that I use to forecast on a regular day, because we're kind of in the forecast process right now, and you're going to get a sneak peek kind of at our forecasting day to day, so you can get a taste of what we normally do and you can get a good taste of the forecast. So I'm looking big picture right now, and I'll zoom into this in a second. But one of the charts that I'm often using in my forecasting is a big picture jet stream chart. And you can actually kind of see it here, see the colors here. That's actually the winds aloft in the atmosphere. That is the jet stream. And you notice off to the west, and I'll highlight it here with my mouse. You're going to notice off to the west over California, this little bowling ball, if you will, all these circles here. And then you see the color of the big dip in the jet stream there. That's going to be the energy that slowly tracks across the continental United States and then gives us this potential for some storms on Monday and Tuesday. Here's the current look right now. This is what we call the surface analysis. This is what we have in terms of cold fronts, warm fronts, low pressure systems, and then of course the current observations are overlaid over this. So remember that low pressure system that we showed on satellite there in the Gulf of Mexico? Well, there it is. It's a relatively weak low pressure system. We call it 1006 millibars. That's the central pressure right now of that low pressure system. It has what we call an occluded front attached to it in the Gulf of Mexico. And then it has some fronts associated with it here, a cold front and then a stationary or warm front. So we have this system here in the Gulf of Mexico that's going to be moving off to the south. So that means our weather that settles in is going to be much quieter over the coming days. But there is a system off the coast of Florida here that will be moving out to the Atlantic. There may be even some tropical implications for that one, but not right now. But that'll be still giving some rain to Florida and then moving out to sea. Our forecast does go quiet for a little while, and you can see the current conditions right now. I'm going to zoom into Mobile. This is as of just a few hours ago, 68 degrees in Mobile. There's some areas with some clouds, according to some of these stations. All these mostly are at airports, all these little symbols that you see here. It's just the observations from the airports. 68 degrees over 61 for our dew point. It's actually feeling quite nice outside and overall calm weather. If we zoom out a little bit, we do have a front, a cold front that is positioned here in the center of the United States. This is North Dakota. This is South Dakota. And we have a cold front that is positioned here. This cold front is going to pass through sometime around Saturday and Sunday. So this is the current chart. The cold front's over here, but it's going to be making its way towards us. But it's likely going to pass in dry fashion. Now I'm showing you a forecast chart. And I'll stop this. This is going to be just, I'm going to get you all the way to when this front passes on Saturday. Let me pull that up. So once we get towards Saturday and Sunday, and I'll zoom into this for you, we have a cold front that passes and we get into high pressure. Of course, high pressure meaning stable weather. So we have a brief period on Sunday and relatively the early part of the day on Monday where we go clear, according to all of this. We have a high pressure system settling in, and nice cold front brings us a slightly cooler morning on, that would be your Sunday morning, most likely as that front passes. So as you can see, Sunday, that cold front has now passed our area, and that's going to usher in that nicer weather. And then we're going to be watching off to our west here. As you can see, this is the forecast map for Sunday. You see all this green in the west here. That is actually rain, and that is another storm system. As we're settling into an active pattern here, another storm system coming into the west coast that'll push through the country and potentially bring us more rain once we get towards Tuesday, late Monday and Tuesday. So let's get this straight here. We have a cold front that passes Saturday into Sunday. No rain with that one, but a slight drop in temperature. Then Monday into Tuesday, our next storm system comes. So that's kind of what we have going on right now. I'm going to break it down with some of the forecast models. This might be a little bit easier to understand. So what we have here, this is a model website that I typically use for our forecasting. And we're looking at rain here in the green, and you can see Mobile is located right here on the map. So that's kind of the picture. This is as of right now. This is the GFS forecast model. Your time is actually over here, and I'll zoom in so y'all can see this. Your time is over there, and we're going to rock through this in time so you can kind of see what the picture will look like day by day. Anytime you see green, that's when we start to think about the chance for rain. But as you can see, as we get to Friday at noon, this picture, Friday at noon, no real issues in terms of rain for our area. That low pressure system that I talked about off the coast of Florida, that moves off to the kind of southeast coast there, stays in the Atlantic, and does not do much. Our weather remains very quiet as we get into Saturday. And you can see no real rain, maybe some offshore rain you can see in the green there indicated, but overall, no big impact into your weekend. So that means any weekend plans looking fantastic as we had this cold front pass in dry fashion. Then on your Saturday, we go completely dry, not even North Alabama getting any rain, and high pressure settling in over the eastern United States. You see we have these little concentric rings here of black. That's the pressure, and high pressure situated over the eastern United States. And that's going to be in control for our weather. It'll be feeling nice. Clouds, not too much of a story as well as we're dealing with the high pressure in place. But we are looking ahead. I'm actually going to zoom out this picture for us. And we're going to take a look at the national picture of the entire United States. There's our high pressure in control over the east, quiet and dry conditions, no green on that map there, but we are going to be watching in the central United States for the potential of a developing system. Let's go out in time here. So by the time we get towards late in the day on Sunday, according to this forecast model, we have a 997 millibar low pressure system somewhere near Oklahoma there. And that's going to be the system that's coming our way on Monday and Tuesday to bring us potential for some storms. And you can see there's some rain associated with that. Once we get later into the day on Monday, and let me get to Monday for us. This is early in the day on Monday. Notice the thing moving off to the east, a little bit closer to us. We will be dealing with likely some southerly wind at this point. So southerly wind in our area, and that's going to be ushering in the moisture. In fact, our dew points will likely be rising. You see this area of red, that's higher dew points, that's more moist air. As we get into Monday, later in the day, look at all of that moisture streaming into the area. That is going to be feeding the potential for storms late on Sunday, or I'm sorry, excuse me, late on Monday and then into Tuesday. There we go. So, and y'all are asking about Thanksgiving Day. I'm almost there. But yeah, so we do have the potential for those storms on Monday and then Tuesday. So let's break this down real quick. We're going to switch back to the one that looks a little bit more familiar for us. And as you can see, we have the potential for rain Monday and Tuesday. Oh, will this stick around? Well, looks like we do get a frontal passage sometime late in the day on Tuesday. That means that we will begin to clear out. But first, we have to deal with the potential for some thunderstorms on Monday and Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. Let's zoom in and go back and see if we can get to the rest of the week. So taking a close look at our area, the GFS has this front passing sometime late in the day on Tuesday, so Tuesday looking rainy, and then the rain getting out of here on Wednesday. Look at the picture on Wednesday, a little bit clearer, all the rain to our south now. And then the picture looking just a little bit better once we get into Thanksgiving. We are watching to our south, though, for the potential of some showers offshore. Right now, this forecast model, though, keeping that offshore. And we'll be watching the models very closely. It does look like sometime late in the day, at least according to this forecast model, there might be some showers in the eastern half of our area. But if I go back and look at a previous model run, that was not there. So there's some question marks on the validity of that. Please understand, this is one run of the GFS where you see green Thursday at 9 p.m., but this is a different run of the GFS and you see absolutely nothing. So that's the thing, these forecast models change, and we'll be watching the trends very closely. And this normally means that in our forecast that we show on Fox 10, that we will likely go with little to no rain chances on your Thursday, at least right now, because this is only one run of a forecast model. This is still have question marks about it. But right now, my summary kind of for the forecast for Thursday is looking nicer, especially since we have that front passing through our area. So your Thanksgiving forecast is looking overall nicer as for now, based on the forecast models. The only rain on Thanksgiving week comes Monday into Tuesday, Tuesday being the day where we have a cold frontal passage. Now let's break down our temperature forecast for the next few days. And we're going to use a slightly different map here, so I'm going to have to change things up real quick. Let me go into my thing here. All right, this is going to be a graph of high and low temperatures over the next 7 days. All of these are different forecast models or different forecast entities. First, we're going with the National Weather Service forecast, and we'll kind of compare the numbers and see what we have. So remember, we talked about a cold front passing in dry fashion Saturday into Sunday. That does knock our temperatures down a little bit. So we go to a high of 69 on your Sunday, a low that Sunday morning of 47. So cooler there. Then continuing, we get warmer on Monday. We warm up kind of quickly. That's because of that warm front passing. And then finally, the cold front passes, and we go cooler. In fact, look at this forecast high from the National Weather Service. This is particularly the numbers for Mobile. 57 is what that says. 57 on your Wednesday. So a little bit of cooler air moving in. Switching forecast models, this is now from the national blend of models, goes out a little bit more in time here. And we see the same thing, a little bit of dip in temperatures on Sunday, warmer on your Monday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, cooler. Look at that Thursday temperature, that Thanksgiving Day temperature, a morning low in the 40s, and then a temperature in the afternoon only around 60 degrees, looking much nicer, much cooler, much more November-like on your Thanksgiving. So some nicer weather if this does verify on the picture for us once we get towards the end of your Thanksgiving week, hopefully Thursday and Friday. And your Black Friday temperature, according to this model, 61 degrees in the afternoon, 40s in the morning. You can see this little dip here. So you see 47, 42, 41. Those are your morning temperatures in the back half of the week. So cooler air, but needing to break out the jackets once you get to that point. A couple other models just to compare. Now these are a little bit less hard, they're a little bit harder to interpret than the last couple of forecast models that I showed you. As you can see, warmer temperatures as we get towards Saturday, then boom, the drop on Sunday, then boom, the drop on Wednesday here, dropping to 60, and then those highs only in the 50s for us in Mobile specifically. This is where this forecast model is valid from. So as you can see, cooler weather for the back half of your Thanksgiving week, including your Thursday and Friday. So I'm going to switch back to the graphics package here for us, and let's see here. Once again, we do have a couple things that we're thinking of, just to review real quick, and let me get to the 7-day forecast so we can review it easily. One moment. We have the potential for some stronger storms on your Monday and Tuesday, but then that changes, and we likely go quieter in the 7-day outlook. Here is our 7-day outlook as of now. We have a 60% chance of rain on Monday, a 50% chance of rain on Tuesday. Those are our stormy days. Then going out to Thanksgiving, on Thursday, you can see that right now our forecast is going mostly clear, and those temperatures cooler, those highs right around 50 degrees. So that looks like the summary over the next few days, and that's looking great. I'm actually really pleased with the back half of that Thanksgiving week, and hopefully that holds off. We'll be watching the models very closely. The thing that you need to be aware of is Monday and Tuesday. If you're traveling, possibly, you might have some storms in our area, so keep that in mind. We'll be updating the forecast for you, watching this very closely here over the next few days, getting us to our holiday forecast, an always important forecast. Thank you so much overall for joining us, and I think that's pretty much, I think I've addressed all the comments as well because I've been keeping an eye on those here on Facebook. But thank you so much for joining us, as always, on our 2 o'clock weather lives here. We did something a little bit different, showing you kind of the forecast process. I'm going to be taking some of my notes down from that as kind of we were looking at this kind of in a live setting. Something different just to change it up a little bit. But overall, right now, the story for us will be looking ahead to Monday and Tuesday, where we have the chance for rain, and then likely cooler temperatures once we get towards Thanksgiving, and maybe some nicer weather behind that Monday, Tuesday storm system. So that's the summary for us. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream. I'll leave you once again with that 7-day outlook. We have much more coming up at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. I'll see you at 4 o'clock on air, and then Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith will be in at 5. So plenty to cover here in our forecast. We thank you for joining us here on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream.